Welcome to a new game on the channel, Graveyard Keeper. Breaking Dead, in fact, which is the new DLC for it. I thought we'd give it a go. Not done it before on recording. I played a little bit of it, but I'm sure a lot of you will have many comments about how I need to play more optimally. We'll see. Let's get started, and we'll start with the storyline. It's very much like, who would give you a preview? Like Stardew Valley, that kind of game. Let's start a new game. And off we go. It's an ordinary day and our hero is hurrying home, where someone very important is waiting for him. Even in their everyday routine, there's a place for loving and feeling loved. And we're crossing the road while looking at our phone. Yes. Oh. Our wonderful family. And we've been hit by a car. Our new home is a graveyard? We're a graveyard keeper now. We should dig up Jerry, apparently. Jerry's a skull. Of course, that's the wrong name for a skull. The only name that skulls should have is Bob. Some of you may get the reference. If not, look up Harry Dresden. Anyway, what a strange vision. What is this nightmare? Let's find Jerry. As you might expect, we don't keep a skull in our house, so I guess we go have a look outside. Here is the world of Graveyard Keeper. This is our front yard, very much like Stardew Valley in that kind of approach, but things get a bit more macabre in Graveyard Keeper. So we can dig this grave up. Let's see who's in here. Yes. Because you're a skull. Okay, so Jerry's going to give us a little bit of a tutorial and start to the game. He's going to lead us down here to a, well, a donkey. And the donkey is, well, sort of communist Russian sort of approach, or certainly socialist. Let's head down here. Jerry's just basically saying, yeah, the donkey doesn't like him, so we can head down and let's have a word with the donkey. Who talks? Yes, I know, it's a game. See what I mean about the whole communism, socialism thing? And only earns 5 carrots a day. Poor donkey. And calls me comrade. Okay, so that's fine. The donkey delivers bodies to us. And there's our body that we've got to pick up. And of course, Jerry's now going to go help us. Tell us what we need to do. Hey, Jerry. Okay, so we can pick up large items with E, otherwise you can push them around as well, and that may become more useful later, but let's just pick it up for now and head into the mortuary. Yeah, so we need to slice some flesh from that corpse. Bit gross. Yeah, also I should mention that Jerry is a bit attached to alcohol. So he sort of wants you to fetch beer in exchange for anything, and it'll later ask for wine as well as stuff like that as well. So we've been given new technologies. There's a whole technology tree in the game that you can choose which sort of avenue you head down, and it's going to start by giving us a preparation place and a pallet, and to be able to extract flesh from corpses. So if we just go here, pop it on there, and we can get flesh from the corpse, again with the whole Macabre thing. And for some reason, taking flesh from that corpse has let us create burgers and sandwiches and baked meat. Not pies, though. Yeah, not pies. We could call ourselves Sweeney Todd, I suppose, but yeah, apparently we're going to get used to it. So why don't we think about burying the corpse? We can press E, take the body, and take it outside. And here is our graveyard. Here's the place that we have to keep. It's the object of the game. So we can head inside and let's see what Jerry has to say. Whoops, let's drop that for there. Let's bury it. Okay, so we can use our blueprint desks. They're all over the actual game world to make various things. So in this case, we can drop a body in the grave, decorate the grave, and yeah, don't use goat skulls and upside down crosses apparently. So to do that, just head over to the blueprint desk. We'll choose a grave site, and we're going to choose this top left site. I'm just going to go up here and I'm going to dig. Now what you can't see yet is the energy meter. You'll get it fairly soon. That sort of indicator there means that well, it's not going to be good for the graveyard. That's a positive, and essentially it's sort of a gauge for how attractive your graveyard is. So we've buried them. Yeah, Jerry's a bit of an alcoholic. I'm not sure where the beer would actually go. He's a disembodied skull, but okay. So here comes the bishop. We're going to need to ask him a few questions, and Jerry's gone back to the morgue. Okay, so let's go and speak to him. Yes, it's a mess. Broken down graves everywhere. We need to fix it. Okay, so here's the rest of the GUI, graphic user interface. So we got the location, the quality, which is what I was trying to think of, the positive or negative, etc. It's going to start off very negative, and the Church of Peels is a cross that we get. And you can repair the graves to turn them from a negative into a positive, but you need materials to do it. That's what it's saying, and we can create wooden markers. Okay, so as soon as our graveyard quality is at least 5 positive, we can get promoted. So we're going to find out what this burial certificate is. It's basically going to be our source of money. We can trade it in for money in the tavern in the village. And then I don't think there's anything else in particular we need to speak to him about. But let's go and have a look, see if he's got anything to say. He doesn't really have all that much. We're going to laugh with him, I suppose. How can we fix the graveyard? Just repair all the graves. Okay, yeah, as we've already seen, we've got that. And the certificate is just going to say, yeah, it's the payment, basically. So we get that every time there's a body. Okay, no more questions for now. Let's just leave. So now it's going to say, here's the materials that we're going to have. We have technologies that we need to unlock, and those take points. And the points we gain by doing various things. So when we handcraft stuff, we get red. When we find out stuff about nature, we get green. And then blue points are spiritual knowledge. And we earn points by doing stuff, basically. And we got a new blueprint. And another new blueprint. So stone and timber stockpiles. And here's our technology tree. We press tab to actually get to it. And we can choose anything we actually want from here. There's well, anything we want that we can afford, I should say. But at the start, I'm not going to worry too much about getting the bodies sort of properly interred. We can, you know, in the graves, we can actually just throw them in the river. That is a perfectly valid way to start the game. And if anyone wants to disagree, please feel free to put a comment below. To get started with, I probably want to have a look through this. So here's where you could get extra, shall we say, resources from bodies. You can get skulls, or blood and fat, etc. Well, soap, yeah. Let's not talk about Fight Club for now. Things like gravestones we can make, or at least once we research things. But I think to start off with, I'm going to be looking to this whole smithing and building side of things. So I'm going to need to research, I want to say primitive forging, all that kind of stuff around here. Stoneworking, yeah, I am going to need that. I'm going to need firewood and sawing is actually going to be the first one we actually need. We need 5 red points and 2 green. Before we get that, let's go to our trunk, and we can take all the stuff out of it. Okay, and those are basically our tools and the repair kits. We've got a rusty hammer. Yep, that's already equipped. Shovel, pickaxe, and axe. So now we really should be using these repair kits to do as much positive benefit as we can at the start. So I'm going to go for stuff that's at -2, and if we press E, you'll see there is this is the quality of the particular fence. So that's 1 of 3 essentially. This one is 0 of 2. So why don't we have a look at fixing that one? And once we select that, we can hold down F or your controller key, and we can add some quality to this. Okay, and we're going to do the same thing. I think probably, oh no, that's going to take 2. We'll only get 2 out of it. Is there any other stone ones? We'll get 2 for a smaller investment. That's 1.2 out of 2. Let's have a look. Stone grave site. That will only take 1 of our resources, our repair kits. There we go. And then I guess, I don't know how many other stone graves. So the other thing we can do, we can also use up some energy on just cleaning up the graveyard. Now it is going to ask us to go to the village, but the village is quite a walk away. And in the meantime, our energy is going down. Now, unlike Stardew Valley, we don't have to sleep when it goes to nighttime. We're not going to get monsters popping up immediately. However, it is beneficial to sleep at night because that's when you get the most energy back by sleeping. If you sleep during the day, you don't get it quite as much apparently, so that is fine. And I'm just going to keep on tidying up. Is there anything else around here we can actually get? Let's take a look. 0 of 1 to the grave, 0 of 2 to the grave. So why don't we just fix the headstone on this one? And on this one, can we do the same thing? Okay, so we're at -13, and we still have some wooden repair kits as well, so we can use those up. Again, our energy is still dropping. That's 2. I just want to spend as little as I possibly can. That's also 2. So I want any fences. I'm just going to use up that. -12, -11, and it's coming nighttime, so we probably want to head home. Let's just fix you up and use the last bit of our energy that we can do anyway. No, that needs 2. That needs 1. Let's just use that one. Okay, so -9 is what we're up to at the moment. I'm going to head out to the graveyard and head back home. There is a whole bunch of resources all over the map that you can actually grab, but we're out of energy, so we may as well just head home. What you can do is if you want to get some food, there is a some bushes down here. If you go to this area, the garden, just make sure to actually just read that, because it's going to be useful when we get to the village. Yeah, we need technology for that. Okay, never mind. And it's middle of the night, so we really should get to bed. Head inside. Head to bed. And then just leave it. It'll stop automatically when it gets to the end of this gauge. And we've woken up to a ghost. Called Yorick. As in, alas, poor Yorick. Who is very lonely. And he's not going to be too happy about one of his neighbours in the graveyard. So he's basically complaining about the body in the lower right corner grave. And we get a license, which is an exhumation, a permission license. So we can't dig people up unless we have one of those licenses. Now, I'm sure we can actually, before I actually go over there, I'm just going to head, oh, we can't actually go down there yet. Ah, it's a shame. Yeah, before we go down there, we're going to have to go over and do this, I think. Although we may be able to just clear up some space in our yard, because we're going to need that space very shortly. And that will give us some points we can use to actually get some technology going. So technology, let's take a look at sawing. We're going to need a saw horse, and we can then go and build that here. Yep. So we can choose a saw horse. It just needs some sticks. And I guess I'm going to put it... it's going to be horrible wherever I put it. Let me just actually clean up this area up here. You can destroy them again. You just don't get all the materials back if you do. And materials are quite precious at the start of the game. So, yeah, let's just clear out this area next to the house. And I want this fairly close to where, to the house. I don't want it to get too far away. We can expand the yard later. I'm going to leave space for a furnace around here, I think. And let's just put it there for now. Okay, and then we need to go work on it just to actually fill it. Or finish it, so I should say. Done. So then we can craft billet and flitch, which are different types, basically. Slices of wood and sort of, well, logs, effectively. And then we can use that to make markers. Okay, so we have that ability. These two places here, this is a place where we put logs and we can put stones there. So logs, as you might imagine, if we just go across to, let's say, this tree. And I press F on it. It's going to chop it down. And it's going to leave at least one log. And you can push them around. You don't have to pick them up. But once you do pick them up, we do have to take them back to the stockpile, really, to work on them. And then we can, of course, then use our sawhorse to do further work. So we can craft billet. And there we go. This is just where we sharpen the tools, but we're not going to worry about that just yet. So let's go and actually go and sort out that grave, I think, first. Then we're going to head across to the village, where we can get some other stuff done. So it's this very bottom right grave here that we've been asked to sort out. So let's go over here, press E and exhume, and then use F as before. Now that is basically a negative when you have an open grave, but having an open grave often helps in that if a body comes along, you then have a spot available for them to, rather than having to use energy to, well... Oh, Jerry may not be too happy about me doing that. Hi, Jerry. Yes, we just got rid of that body. Okay, so we could burn the body instead, and apparently we look a lot smarter than we actually are. Thanks. Fire and some wood, and it's a bit tricky to make the whole thing burn to ash. but there is a nice place across the road from the mortuary entrance. Okay? And the river somewhere down to the town. So presumably the bodies we throw in there may be going somewhere else. So yeah, we may have to consider that in future. Anyway, let's head across toward the village anyway. And let's take a look at some of the technologies we could actually upgrade. Now, firewood is more used for furnaces, for the fuel. So that's one option. Mining will let us actually get iron ore. That will become very useful very shortly. Let me just see if there's anything else before I get to that point. I think we need to speak to the blacksmith before we can get any of that going. We can get soft spares now, I suppose. Yeah, so we can extract blood and fat straight away, rather than just throwing them in the river, just in case it does pile up near the town somewhere, I guess. And we just head across here to the right. Now, I'm playing on 1920 by 1080p essentially. I tried on 1440p, but there is like a sort of pop-in of each of the squares of the game when I was at 1440p, so I've left it for now. And 1080p seems to work perfectly fine. So the village is just beyond the wheat farm area. It is, you know, sort of dusk, but that's okay. We should be able to get a few bits and pieces done. So we're going to head to the tavern first, which is right here, and speak to the bartender. And there is someone else to speak to. Okay, so let's first of all speak to the bartender, or the barkeep. Call her Adric. Okay, so now we have lots of options. If you did look at that blueprint next to the garden that's near your house that I told you to look at, you'll have this option. And he's basically saying, yeah, it was seized by a merchant to cover someone's debts. However, we should be able to get permission to actually use it, and that can let us grow crops, so we can make an empty garden bed. Great. And we'll talk to the merchant as well. And he's going to say talk with the merchant. Fair enough. Okay, so we also have a burial certificate, so this should give us some money. Well, assuming he has some money. See? Okay. They're short on money, apparently. But as soon as we open the church, so it's kind of a sort of first objective, pilgrims will bring lots of shiny coins to the village. And we also have the fresh meat we took off that corpse. Yes, I really wasn't kidding when I said macabre. We can trade meat, and meat in inverted quote marks. It's a delicacy in the village, apparently. But we need a royal stamp on it. And we don't have a royal stamp, so we can't sell them the meat anyway. Okay. No, it doesn't have a stamp. But there is apparently a person who can get us some sort of stamp. Yep. And what's he called again? Let's have a look. Snake. Yes. Of many honourable snakes there are. Yes, he has a fake royal stamp, living up to his name. And there is another character called Ms. Charm, who we can tell us to basically, well, let us find Snake. And we can trade, hopefully. He's going to ask us to take a letter to the blacksmith. That's perfectly fine. And I'll show you where he is now. And then we get the trading menu. Now, I'm not going to buy anything. I know our friendly Bob. Let's just call him Bob. Or maybe I should use Jerry in case some other people watching later. We can buy beer here for Bob. But we don't want to actually buy that beer because we can get a free one by just following the quests. So we have to have more faith in ourselves, otherwise we're not worth talking to. But someone else wants us to speak to them. Oh, but the graveyard keeper and soon to be prior of the local church, apparently. Okay. Okay, so Wagner wants to write her a poem. Fair enough. And paper and ink. We want to be able to get some. Fine. Okay. We can get stories from dialogues, and it's a new technology. Fair enough. We don't have ink or paper, but we can ask where it is. And there's some in the church, or we can make it. And of course, we can't get into the church yet. It's not open. Or from the astrologer. And let's just leave for now. Because we're going to head out across to the blacksmith, who has lots of, well, he has certainly some useful stuff for us. So just head down here, and we're going to want to get a sword. And the blacksmith is going to give us a sword, and then we can go and use that to get some other loot from around all over the place. So heading over here, we can head across to the blacksmith. Cresvold. Okay, so we're given the letter, and we get some, basically, friendliness rating. I'm not sure what they're actually going to call it, but basically how friendly they are or how happy they are with you. Yeah, so the blacksmith wants us to kill some slimes, and he's going to give us a sword to do it, and a whetstone, and we get some energy potions as well. Okay, so I'm just going to get out of this area. Yeah, leave for a second. So this rating will let you unlock more choices with each person, but for now, I'm just going to drag the energy potion down here, and the sword, it's broken at the moment. We just need to fix it first, so I can click on here, click on the sword, and on the whetstone, press craft, and hold down F, and it will give us a sword that can be used, and it's now equipped. So on PC, you can press space to swing the sword, or obviously if you're on a console, you need to have an equivalent button. But we can just basically kill slimes. If they get too close, of course, they may well inflict some damage, but just 2 slimes is enough for Cresvold. So we can head back to him, and we've defeated the slimes. And he's very, very happy with us. He's given us some iron parts. And we've got a whetstone. And ability to create jellies from actual slimes. And what I'm also going to do is I want to get a little bit of money, I think. And I think I should be able to do that once I get back to the tavern. I want to come back and at least take 1 iron ingot from him. We can make our own later, but we're going to be a little bit short, I think, to start off with. So if we're a bit short, we may as well just buy something while we're here, and we should get that. Let's have a look. So we get a free beer, which we're going to use. And let's trade. And now with this burial certificate that we got from the bodies, we can trade and get some money. I should have done that last time I was here, actually, but I just forgot about it. We're going to head back to the blacksmith, grab a iron ingot, and then head home for the night, I think. We're not completely out of energy, but the usual approach with that kind of... Oh, the blacksmith's gone in. Can I... Yeah. Oh. Okay, we'll come back another time. In the meantime, I'm just going to head home, and we'll see you once we're back out there. So Jerry's asking where we've been, and we've been to the village. He's now saying there's a cellar in our cottage, and there's some provisions there. Okay, so berries, edible mushrooms we can now gather. And we can make dough and bread. No, I don't really want to do much else. I'd rather get back to the house. It's raining and it's dark. Yeah, he's still waiting for the beer. And while we're on our way back, we can actually now gather these berries. And they do help a little bit, so you can actually put them down here and eat them if you want to give you a little bit more of a boost once if you need it. So we can head back here. It is coming towards dawn again, so I'm a little bit later than I expected. But if we head downstairs, you'll see there's this cellar. And This is Snake. This is the honourable Snake who keeps trying to get past this gate, apparently. I think it is, anyway. Let's have a look. He's certainly sneaky and has a bandana, so I assume it's Snake. Maybe he doesn't. In any case, there is a cost to unlocking a lot of these barricades. However, there's lots of barrels all over the place. We can break them, and I'm going to use up the rest of my energy just before I head back to bed to basically break all these barrels and get some loot. The loot will be things like nails, which will be very useful. The sacks are just contain wheat, so unless you want to create something with wheat like dough or bread, I wouldn't worry about them. I'm just about out of energy, so instead of using up these potions, I'm just going to head straight to sleep. And there we go. So you see, it's 3 and 4 energy, but as soon as it's daytime, it may drop, I think. If I'm wrong, that's fine. Maybe it just depends on when you start the sleeping, which will be great if so. And he's refreshed. And he's saying it's much nicer without him at the graveyard. Oh, thanks. Okay, so each corpse is a soul's vessel. Sins are red skulls, good deeds are white skulls. And different organs have different sins, apparently. So certain organs have sins, certain don't. So you can take the red skulls out of those corpses. There we go. So all human rains have their own unique spiritual attributes. So it gets its red or white skulls from its body parts. And you can change the red and white skulls by removing organs and embalming. And then you sort of improve the quality with decorations, etc. And okay, we'll come back to that later. Is there anything else I actually want to do in here? I think I actually want to just craft some more stuff out here if I can. So we've got the sawhorse already. And we can expand the yard space once we get enough other stuff. But I think I need to unlock some technology to actually get any farther. Or any further, I should say. So we've got stoneworking, which I do want. Because I want stone cutting, which is unlocked with this. So we're going to need to go and basically use more of our energy. And we should get more points, and therefore... There we go. So 9 and 10 will actually do it. However, if you heard that bell, that is the donkey delivering another corpse. And we can head inside. Let's just go and see what this corpse is like. Autopsy. It's a single red skull, and yeah, it's 2 white. So we can remove all of this stuff from them, I guess. Let's give that a try. And we've removed the blood, which means it's now 3 white skulls. Now 4 white skulls. Okay. Oh, back to 3 white skulls. So I guess we shouldn't take the last thing out of there. So let's take the body. And let's take it back to that open grave that we have available. Rather than throwing it into the river. We've got a grave here. And I don't think I have any materials to build any kind of decoration yet, so it's not going to be too much of a benefit. However, you know, we have it available, and it improves the graveyard a little bit because it's back to... oh, no, I don't want to get it back up again. No. It's back to -8, I guess. Can we actually make anything here? Just grave sites. And I could put another grave site down over here, but for now, I'm not going to worry about it. It's going dark again. Because I slept through the day. So annoying. Oh, in fact, hang on. That's partially open, isn't it? I need to close the grave. Get back here. There we go. And we get another burial certificate, which means a little bit more money. Which hopefully, in the morning, I can actually trade back to the tavern keep, and then get some iron ingots from our friend the blacksmith. Now, is there anything else I can actually research now? I should be able to do... Oh, it's 15. Wow. Okay, so I am going to need to clean up a little bit more. This is a swamp area. We can actually extend our yard into it once we've got enough resources. And that will give us lots more area to build various stations. So I need 5 more of you. The red skill gems or whatever they are. So let's just do that. It's 12, and I'm going to need just 3 more things, presumably, unless this larger rock counts as more than one. Nope, need a technology for you. And 1 more, and we should get the stone cutter. So now, yep, that is available. So we're still working. We can create somewhere we can do that with, and it should be in here. So we're going to need 2 flitch, which we don't have yet. 2 more flitch, I should say. So let's go here, craft 1 of you, and we should be able to saw that up. Our energy is quickly draining. Okay, and a stone cutter. That's going to take up even more room, but yeah, I don't want to use up. This is just an awful area, kind of, that we actually need to actually build something. Let's put it up there for now, and we may have to move it and destroy it later if that's the case. F. Okay, so we now have the ability to craft stone, or gather iron ore, or create iron ore from larger things. We're not going to go there yet. However, we don't have clay to make more stone repair kits, which will help us deal with the graveyard yet. But we have 2 things crafted. We want a wooden anvil, I think, next. And I think that may require more technology. Presumably it's in smithing. So I'm going to need to go and... or is it? Wooden anvil. Chopping spot, stone cutter. Yeah, I'm almost sure it's somewhere else in here. I've seen the node on my test world. Yeah, I may have to go back to town and see if I can unlock some of the smithing stuff. Presumably it is actually in there, but I can't remember exactly how I got to it in my previous world, so that's fine. We will get to it. And that will then let us craft new tools, and the new tools will need iron ore. We'll get to that in the next episode, though, because we are roughly coming up to time on this one. So let's just head to bed, and we should be able to finish up the episode. Hopefully you've enjoyed it. If you haven't, well, I'm sorry. I know it's a little bit of a change for the channel. I have done Stardew Valley in the past. Do let me know if you did like it, though. Or if you've got any comments about how I should proceed. If I'm doing things suboptimally, I'm sure people will comment. So that has actually saved the game there, and we can continue on with the next episode. Alright, so feel free to like, subscribe, share as you normally would. If you want to follow me on the YouTube, you can just by subscribing and clicking the bell icon, or indeed just on Twitter at Greyduster, and you get notifications that way as well. But as always, guys, thanks for watching, and we'll see you next time for some more Graveyard Keeper.